Shalom, shalom. Give us 1 second.
Shalom.
All right, we're in the game. All right, shalom.
Shalom.
It's the brothers from Great Millstone, Charlotte, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Hakwadash. And pretty much in this lesson, we want to go into how the elect will not bow the knee. All right. So before we get started with this lesson, we want to give all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Hakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect that's out here laboring in all truth and sincerity. To you, we say shalom.
Shalom.
All right. Or you just jump in whenever you get it. All right. So, like I said, the title, all right, the elect will not bow the knee, okay? Because what you see, how this world is gearing up, all right, to make everybody submit themselves to the new world order, okay? All right, this new current power structure that Esau Edom is setting up to make everybody subservient under the spiritual demon Satan, okay? So the Most High has, reserved unto him. Matter of fact, let's start with that Romans 11:4 about Shah. He has a remnant that he's going to reserve unto himself. All right, that's not going to, bend to Esau and his kingdom, man.
Sorry. It's Romans chapter 11 and verse 4. It reads, "But what saith the answer of the Most High unto him? I have reserved unto myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal."
Right, and that 7,000, all right, that's just a number of completion. All right, we know that the Lord has a selected number of men, all right, starting with the 144,000 prophets, that's not going to bend the knee to the image of Baal, man. And the image of Baal is going into, all right, Esau's power structure, man, the new world order, man. Okay, so the Lord has reserved us, Lord willing, we're of that number, to resist, all right, the way that this world is going, man, because we see that it's not congruent with the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which is why we go out and prophesy against this wicked kingdom, man. You know?
Right. That's right.
Hey, y'all brothers got anything y'all can add in?
God, real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 6 and verse 16. Because these men, as the brother had read in Romans, that will not bow the knee to the image of Baal, during this period of grace are reforming their minds. As Priest Amawan has said, we see the world is not congruent to the will of the Lord, but the Lord has preserved men, right, the elect, that will be in alignment to the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shai. Real quick, Jeremiah 6 and 16, it says, "Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways, and see and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls." You can speak on it, Priest.
Slaki, read it again.
Jeremiah 6 and 16. "Thus saith Yahweh, stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls."
Right, because the Lord has, awoken us to realize that the way that this society is being run, all right, it doesn't make any sense, man. It tells you that in Isaiah 29 and 16, how Esau Edom has turned this world upside down. Okay, so the way that we see life as we know it is backwards, man. It's not. It makes absolutely no sense, man. Okay, the fact that this man, all right, is able to allow people to change their sex. Okay, he has totally, destroyed the family structure. All right, the nuclear family is no more. All right, we live in a completely fake society. We live in the matrix, man. So the Lord has, awoken us out of the matrix. Like when you watch the movie The Matrix, we're like Neo, man. All right, we have been awoken, and we see that the only way to truly live, all right, is to turn back to our ancient customs, all right, that we once served, Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai with, and walk in that way, man. Okay, because when we look back and read about how our ancient forefathers moved, all right, it makes sense, man. Brothers, get into that book, the Biblical Manners and Customs, and when we read into, the way that we moved back then, it gives understanding unto why our forefathers, they did certain things, and why the scriptures say that we should do certain things, man. Okay, so we're going back to that old way because that's the good way, because it was proven, we live in modern times, all right, and modern times, you know, everything is like a big ass experiment, man. Because we literally, when you look up the word modern, it literally means to be opposed to the past. And Esau Edom is telling you that these new modern ways are the new ways of life, when it has not been proven. But the old ways, which is the good ways, has been proven, man. Real quick, could you get that in the NLT?
Okay. Jeremiah 6:16 in the NLT. It reads, this is what Yahweh says. Stop at the crossroads and look around.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for the old godly way and walk in it.
Right. Because you look at, like it said, look at the crossroads. So you should be able to come to a point to where you looking at how everything is being done, and you be like, yo, something's not right. And so when you comparing the way that the Lord said to do things compared to how this devil does things, and you know, the Spirit of the Lord should give you the discernment to know, like, look, the Lord's ways is the ones that make sense, man. They're the ones that work, because, like I said, it's been proven. Go ahead.
That's right. Travel this path, and you will find rest for your soul.
Travel this path, and you will find rest for your souls, because, like I said, our ancient forefathers, all right, they walked with the Most High, and their path was illuminated, man. They were blessed, okay. And we, as we see, you know, as we have walked away from the Heavenly Father, we have been cursed, okay. And so this is why it's time to turn back, man. All right, this new age way of living is not conducive to life, like you always say at times, wrong. You know.
Yep. There's a little bit more here.
Bring it out.
But you replied, no, that's not the road we want.
Right, and that's the way that these people of the world now think, man. Because when they hear the ancient ways, they like, nah, man, we're in modern times now, man. This is better. But then, like I said, when you weigh everything out in the balance, is it really better? You know, are things really going, you know, on the path that's really going to help this world, you know, progress? And the answer is no. Right. But these people, they can't see that because they're lost, you know, in the sauce, man. And the prince of the power of the air has the minds of these people, man.
Right. If I may add, just adding to your point, you have shared the article from Wealth saying that the United States has dropped out of the 20 happiest countries in the world.
That's right.
Okay. So it's clear that the trajectory that this country, Babylon the Great, America, is going in is clearly leading people into derailment from happiness, derailment from pretty much the essence of life. People don't live. People don't have true happiness no more.
Yeah, the human experience has been ruined.
Okay. I got a precept up, Kashaw. This is Psalms chapter 94, verse 16.
Spirit.
Who shall rise up for me against the evildoers, or who shall stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Mm-hmm. You know, as you can see, the title of the lesson, the elect won't bend the knee. You know, they're gonna stand up for the cause of Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, there's a saying, you know, from the show we the brothers here we like to watch. You know, it says, if a living means bowing down to the likes of you, I'd rather die on my knees with my head held high. Mm-hmm. You know, so Jake, you know, the elect of Yahweh Shema Shai, the Lord's elect. You know, as the scripture say, we love not our lives even unto the death. You know, we don't have a desire, you know, we don't find America to be beautiful in any way to where we want to stay here.
Nope.
You know, we have a desire for the kingdom of heaven. You know, as the brothers going into dropped out the race, you know, the top 20 is best places to live for, you know, for you to be happy. You know, that should be a sign that America is fallen, you know. So here it is, you know, soon our kingdom is going to be reestablished and we're going to be the joy of the whole earth. You know, and that's something to look forward to. That's something to stand up for against the workers of iniquity, those who are pushing a way of life, you know, that is just horrible, you know, to where it's really a death style.
Mm-hmm. Add real quick to you. This is Jeremiah 50:21. It says, go up against the land of Marathaim, even against it, and against the inhabitants of Pekah, waste and utterly destroy after them, saith the Lord, and do according to all that I have commanded thee, right? And when you go into this word Marathiam, all right, it literally means double rebellion, okay? Because when you see how this society is set up, it's literally set up to make the people rebel against Yahweh Shem Yahushua, which, you know, is a reminiscent of ancient Babylon with Nimrod, all right? Because Nimrod, you know, he pretty much, you know, set up the Tower of Babel, which, you know, the Babel means confusion, all right, to pretty much, you know, build that tower so that they can, you know, fight against and kill God, man. You know, and that's what this society is trying to do. Okay, make people, you know, complete rebels, you know, to pretty much, you know, war against the Most High and His ways, man. But the elect has picked up on that, and now we're repenting, all right, and choosing to turn back into our power, man. Okay, but in the midst of us doing that, we're gonna face heavy opposition, you know.
May I add to you right quick, priest?
Kyle, Sluggy, I got one more definition. I got you. Because when you go into the root word of Marathiam, you get the word mar, which means bitter or bitterness. Okay, and that's what this place is, man. It's bitter for those that are trying to live a righteous way of life, man. All right, you got it out.
God. This is the word for Pekad in that same verse. It says, Strong's H 6489, visitation. A people in the Babylonian army and the tribe southwest or southeast of Babylonia.
Does it say visitation or judgment?
God. What's that visitation? Yeah.
Okay. This is where should go into judgment.
But most eyes know by the judgment will be executed.
I'm not sure what it said.
Psalms 14.
Salakia.
You
That word for Pekad, I wanted to just bring that out because the Lord is preparing to visit Babylon for all of its offenses. Right? When we look at the stage of Babylon the Great,
Judgment.
right, it's pretty much at odds with Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? It promotes an anti-Hamashiach culture, right? Which is why the brother had brought up Marathiam, double rebellion, the root, Mar, going into that bitter, right? These things that are upheld in this system is rebellious, and that's why Yahweh Shem Yahushua is preparing to bring upon Babylon the Great America great judgment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're reading the Chaldee lexicon, it says office, charge, or punishment.
Right, punishment. Yup. Yahweh Shem Yahushua is preparing to bring that punishment, man. Okay, because why? You offended the Lord. The standard that is upheld in America is intentionally designed to be at odds with the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. No system like that can stand, nor has it ever stood.
Yeah, because any system that is going against the Lord, all right, it always falls because the Most High is not with it. That's like in Psalms where it says, "Lest the Lord build up the house, that house was built in vain."
Mm-hmm.
All right, because the Lord, he set this earth up as a means to pretty much, you know, everything is supposed to, you know, glorify Him. And like I said, Esau has, you know, changed the society to make everything go against the Lord. This is why everything Esau does is adverse to how the Most High made it. This because when you read in Genesis, when the Lord said, and it was good, that means He made it perfect. But then this devil will go behind it and say that the Lord messed up and try to make his own version of whatever it is, you know, the Lord made, such as, you know, you got grass, you know, GMO food, you know, the water. Shit, he's even went as far as to start changing the people, man. You know? Yeah. So this is why, like the brother Isaiah said with that quote, man, all right, the elect has realized that, and we're at a point where we're like, look, we'd rather go back to the spiritual world than, you know, continue to live in this wicked ass society, man. You know?
John. I got a precept. Brother Stone got one. This is a Job 20:4. It says, "Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment." You know, so the triumphing, you know, the wicked, you know, standing, you know, to triumph, to win, you know, in the battle, you know, because when you win the battle, you're the one standing up. You're the one, you know, standing over your enemy who has fallen. You know, but the triumphing of the wicked, you know, Esau, Edom, standing at the top of the food chain of the, you know, of the nations, being the chief of the nations, you know, this time period is only for a moment. You know, the Lord has made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the Esau Edom, you know, it's just a tool that the Heavenly Father is using for the time of evil, and for him to be made an example of, you know, of this is what you do. This is what happened to a nation such as this, that rules in wickedness, that pushes rebelling against the Yahweh Shema Shai's laws. You know, vengeance is going to come upon it, you know, and swift and speedily. You know, it's been a short moment that this man has had time to rule over the earth compared to the time when we're going to rule.
That's right.
You know, you brothers got it.
I got one to add to you real quick, because like you said, when a society runs adverse to Yahweh Shem Shai's ways, all right, the Lord, he issues out, you know, swift judgment and destroys that society. This is why the kingdoms, you know, that were before Babylon, they all fell, because they weren't upholding the Lord's ways. This is Deuteronomy chapter 30 and 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy power, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply, and the Lord thy power shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land which thou passest over Jordan to go possess it. And this is why, like I said earlier, the elect has come to this realization that, look, the reason why we're so, you know, messed up as a people is because we're under the curses. You know, when you read the book of Deuteronomy 28, verses 15 to the end of the chapter, those curses are what are keeping our people in this destroyed state. And it's all because we chose to disobey Yahweh Shem Shai's ways. And this is why our people see nothing but evil in their lives, man. You know? So it says, I denounce unto, verse 19, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. And then when you look at, you know, as brother Talawan brought out at Jeremiah 6 and 16 earlier, when you look what happened when our people, they chose life, which choosing life is obeying the Lord, you see how they were blessed. You know, you see how, you know, for example, you have King Solomon. When King Solomon, he chose life, he chose to serve the Lord. Look what happened. Look how the Lord blessed him with a flourishing kingdom. And when King Solomon began to transgress and worship the idols of the concubines that he had, that's what caused King Solomon's kingdom to fall. And you know, eventually the kingdom of heaven was split, and Jake, you know, began to fall away even worse. Okay, so we understand the dynamic of how this thing works, how this thing called life works, man. So this is why, like I said, we're choosing to turn back to Yahweh Shem Shai, man. All right, so finishing it out, verse 20. That thou mayest love the Lord thy power, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give to them. So we understand where our life, you know, it comes from. It comes from, you know, keeping the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And so this is why I said we're not going to bow the knee, Lord willing, all right, to this kingdom, because we know through the spirit of prophecy that this place, you know, is coming to an end. You know, it's not, you know, meant to be established, because it's all about, you know, anti-Messiah, you know, agenda. And that's not going to last, because like the brother Isaiah read in that Job, man, the triumphant of the wicked is short. This devil ain't going to win. You know, he ain't going to, you know, be here for much longer. Okay? So you brothers and sisters that believe, continue to hold firm, you know, to this truth, man. Okay? Because we're going to win. Lord willing, world that number, man. Y'all got it. They say if anybody ain't have nothing, let's get Joshua 24 and 15. Go ahead, Cornwall.
Ask somebody.
Oh, go ahead. Whoever had it.
You go ahead. This is Isaiah chapter 60 and verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahweh has risen upon thee. And that light is symbolic of this truth. All right. This truth has shined in us. It's shining in the brothers that you see on the highways and hedges that are doing the digital epistles, that are walking and exercising the scriptures in sincerity and in truth. Okay? Verse 2, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. Right? So touching on what Isaiah had brought out, Psalms 94:16, right? Standing up against the evildoers and possessing this light, hey, this is a heavy lot, man. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What we see is when we're out on our day-to-day, right, doing the epistles, going to camp, on our day-to-day walk, right? The scriptures say that we do all things for the elect's sake, okay? Because we understand the significance of the elect, man. The elect not bowing the knee to the image of Baal is synonymous with the sealing of the elect, and that ties into the access to the kingdom.
That's right.
We read that in Revelation, the 7th chapter.
Mm-hmm.
Just figure that out.
Kind, beautiful. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, I got that Joshua for you.
Kind of the water.
Joshua chapter 24 and verse 15. It reads, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord.
Right, because once again, referencing that scripture, talking about the crossroads, we see, all right, we're at a point in time to where you really gonna have to stand on whatever your beliefs are, man. Because the way that society is going, you're gonna need a God to lean on as all hell breaks loose, man. All right, and as we continually say week in and week out, that if you ain't got Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua in that day, you're gonna be asked out, man. And this is why we continuously, make these digital epistles. We go out on the highways and byways. We continually glorify Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua in our walk, so that you believers continue to get built up in the faith, because we understand that, look, the Lord is the only way out, man. But see, these people of this world, they look at the Lord like this is an evil thing that we're doing, man. All right, that this God that we continuously talk about, that is wrong, that he's only for his people. All right, that he's only going to bring the kingdom of heaven to one individual nation, but that's the mentality that you should have, because like I said, your God is literally doing this for your sake, man. All right, which Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is that power that we're referencing, man. So if it seems evil unto you this day to serve the Lord, then hey, choose whatever God that you're going to lean on in that day to protect you when all hell breaks loose, man. Because hey, if you think that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is an idol, all right, so trust in Allah, trust in JC, trust in whatever God that you feel like is the true God, and in the end, we'll see who has the true power, man. Okay, but as for us in our house, we're gonna serve the Lord, because we know and 100% believe and stand on that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is the one true God, man, and He's gonna deliver us if we continue to walk in His ways, man. All right, into the day of Jacob's trouble, man.
I got one for you, Chris. It's 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. But the point, being steadfast and unmovable, man, right? Standing for something, right? You see that standard being lifted, to the men we see out here, starting with our apostles and elders on down, right? And these men, Lord willing, we all endure to the point where we stand, when we're come against that ultimate trial, that ultimate test, man.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're seeing right now is being unshakable, unmovable, right, against what this beast is ultimately going to push on us, man.
That's right.
Yeah, I got a precept. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 36. It says, "Behold, the word of the Lord, receive it. Believe not the gods whom the Lord spake." So these gods, the Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because when you read, in the books of Moses, the Lord told us, when thou go into the land you know, to drive out the heathen, you know, that are round about, following not their ways. You know, at least the Lord spew you out. At least the land spew you out as, you know, the ones that came before you, as the Canaanites that came before you. You know, verse 37, behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slacked. You know, and the plagues that are coming, you know, are the penalties for disobedience that Esau Edom has tallied up during his time of rulership. You know, so us understand these plagues are not slack. You know, you're hearing, you know, all types of, you know, every day, you know, just unprecedented news articles, you know, about, you know, things that are happening in the world, you know, how the love of many is waxing cold. You know, you can see that, you know, the height of wickedness is an all-time high. So the judgment for this place will have to, you know, be very harsh. And we're reading the scriptures, you know, it talks about famine, evil, pestilence, nuclear destruction. These are things that we, you know, as the believers of Yahweh Shema Shai, has to know that are going to be used, are tools from the Heavenly Father that are going to be used to take this man out of power.
Right.
You know, and that's why we don't need to bow down to this man. We don't need to ask this man for bread and water.
Yeah, because if I may add, because these things are also being used as a means to scare the people into submission. You know, because as we know, there's a famine brewing. All right, we know that martial law is coming, and then the most important thing, all right, we know that RFID chip is about to be mandated. So all that being known, you know, you got to have that trust in your power to get you through all these different things, man. So this is why we continuously bring out these scriptures, all right, to drill the point home that, look, man, you need to repent and seek Yahweh Shem Yahshua's face, because if not, you will not have any protection for that ultimate test, which is going to be that mark of the beast, man. Because we're going to get to that time, just like when you had different time periods in history, to where this system is going to make it to where, look, either you bow down to the idol or you die. Like during the time of Daniel with Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, you want to get it? It's cool. You got that time. You got that example. You got the example with Antiochus Epiphanes. You know, and then it's I believe it's one more example. I can't think off the top of my head. But
Daniel's in the lion's den.
Yeah, Daniel in the lion's den. Oh, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You know, well, the lion's den was one I was talking about earlier.
Okay,
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to bow to the idol, man. Yeah. All right. So these are all examples that we have to look at and see what to do when you're faced with either bowing the knee or, you know, saying fuck it and risk, you know, being put to death, man. You know. Yeah, I got it.
Can I get this definition for you real quick?
Go ahead.
Because you may have mentioned how they're going to present these things as a means of salvation, right? Like a pseudo salvation, you know. And what they're looking for, you go into any of these web forums or Charles Schwab and his cronies and all these people, they're looking for compliance from the people. Now, when you go into that word compliance, it says the act of submitting, usually surrendering power to another, right? So they want you to give up your power, and ultimately, speaking on you Israelites, they want you to give up your connection to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? Now, speaking on bending the knee, it's a word that's a synonym to compliance, which is called prostration. And it says the act of submission, the emotional equivalent of prostrating your body, which is pretty much you laying down, you know, and giving up, right? You completely submitting yourself over to whatever situation that is adverse to you. You know, instead of standing firm on it, right? You lay down, you roll over, man.
Yeah, even animals show you that. You know, when you have an animal, you know, submit to the alpha of whatever, you know, genus you're talking about. Like, for example, you have like in the Planet of the Apes, you know, which that happens in, you know, the real, you know, animal kingdom anyway. But you know, the ones that was, you know, submitting, I believe, to Caesar. You know, he had, you know, held his hand out as a means of submission. And so whenever he would rub the hand, he'd be like, all right, you good. You know, and that's ultimately what Esau is going to make you people do. All right, he's going to bring you down to such a low and destitute level to where you're going to, you know, put that hand out to get poked up, man. You know? But we understand that Yahweh Shem Yahushua through the Spirit is going to sustain his. So where when all things are taken away, the Lord is going to provide for him, or he's going to provide for us, man. All right. And we firmly believe that, so this is why we continuously, do these lessons to build up your faith, man. Okay. Because that's the only way you're going to really be able to sustain yourself in that day. So we understand it's not going to be a cakewalk into the kingdom. It's not going to be a cakewalk into Jacob's trouble, because a lot of these camps don't speak on this issue and make light of the time to come, man. This is about to be real deal, shit that we're about to face, man. All right? And all the legislation that Esau was setting up is doing just that. It's about to bring you down to the lowest state where you're not going to know anything to do but to, submit. I got something real quick, and I got whoever. This is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. And when you start looking into all the legislation that Esau Edom has been passing throughout the years, he has literally been stripping everybody of their quote unquote rights, man. To where you are pretty much shown to have no rights. You're a servant. You're a slave, man. Okay, so that MOTB is going to be mandated to where if you don't take it, you will literally be exiled from the world, man. Okay, verse 2. To turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's exactly what Esau was doing, with him pretty much setting the society up like this, man. All right, to pretty much rob us of all rights, but to make us submit to him, man. But like I said, the elect, all right, they're not going to bow the knee. They're not going to submit to Esau, man, because we already have submitted to our true master, which is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. All right. Yes, so.
Now I just want to. I was looking for that account. How during the times of famine, you had the Egyptians. During the time of Egypt, when we were in the land of our captivity, when Joseph, was made ruler in Egypt. You had the Egyptians, bringing everything that they had, to Joseph, just for bread. Their cattle. They even became slaves, for the sake of, bread, you see? And that's the same thing that's going to happen these times. The Egyptians are going to be willing to be made slaves for food and water,
I think I got that for you. I think this is Genesis 47 and
19.
I'll start at 13.
Over into it.
It says, and there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money, and was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they brought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when the money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence, for the money faileth.
Yeah, so the money failed in Egypt. The money's going to fail in this time. Keep reading.
And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year.
Yeah, so you are getting the gist of it. As you can see, they actually had substance. You don't got nothing here in the Babylon the Great. Not really. So in order for you to stay alive, you're going to have to buy into the system somehow, some way.
Yeah.
You got it.
Like what you're saying Esau doing, he's bleeding the people dry. To where, like you said, you won't have any substance to sustain yourself, because, hey, when this money fails, you're going to see, pretty much bartering coming back. People are going to try to, find means around, not really getting a chip. But it's going to come a point to where you ain't going to have nothing.
That's going to be the only option left.
Exactly. Verse 18, when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my Lord, how that our money is spent. My Lord also hath our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my Lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh, and give us seed that we may live and not die, that the land be not desolate.
That's right. So as you can see, because when you read a couple chapters, in chapter 42, you remember Pharaoh had the dream, and Joseph interpreted the dream. So the higher ups of Egypt, Pharaoh and the higher ups were able to take advantage of the prophecy to understand we need to store up 7 years of food. 7 years we need to store up food. For the 7 years of famine that were coming. So that's what the elites of society are doing. That's why you see, Bill Gates. That's why you see all of these, moves going on in the earth, to where, we're getting reports on how the military is stocking up food here. This is happening over there because they have the heads up via, of course, the prophets of the Lord, speaking these things into existence about what's coming and what Yahweh Shema Shai is going to bring. But also the Lord's put the spirit on them to try to sit as in the seat of God and bring bring a family to come to pass to have their people submit.
Right, because that's going into legislation I was speaking about earlier. When you go into things like Agenda 21, all the way down, they got Agenda 2030 now. These are all means of stripping the people of all the resources that, like I said, in the New World Order's motto is you won't owe nothing and be happy. So everything that you will have in that day will be given by the elite, all right, and they will ration out and portion what you'll be able to have and do, all right. But through the spirit, also, I wanted to make mention, because like you said, Pharaoh had that dream, and Joseph interpreted it to allow him to store up, the food to prepare for that famine. That's ultimately what Yahweh Shema Shai is doing with the elect. All right, this is why we're being told to get all this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding while we can, so that our storehouse will be full in the time of Jacob's trouble. We'll be able to, withdraw, like it tells us in Matthew the 6th chapter. Store up thy treasures in heaven, man. So finishing this out, verse 20. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's, and as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the border of Egypt even to the other end of. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and he did eat their portion which Pharaoh gave them. Wherefore they sold not their lands.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, about this account, the whole point of the famine was to get us in Egypt.
Yeah.
We got to understand the will of the Heavenly Father for, his chosen people as well, because you had, Joseph and his brethren, and Jacob, they were protected. They were took under the house of Joseph because he was, the head at the time in Egypt. So our nation, when we were in Egypt, we didn't have to give up things. We didn't have to sell everything. We were under the protection of the king, so to speak.
That's right. Beautiful.
But we don't have to make allegiance with the king in these times. Yahweh Shema Shai is our king.
Right.
And he's going to make sure that we're fed and taken care of. Even though it looks everything else is destitute and desolate out here, we're still going to be taken care of.
Right, and this is why you should be putting everything in on the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, man, because nothing else is going to be able to save you in that day, man. All right, you got all these people trying to doomsday prep, buy up all the food. You got, them big ass containers of food that's going to last you years. They got, the water, guns and whatever else, bunkers or whatnot. None of that is going to be able to deliver you, from these things that we're talking about. Only Yahweh Shema Shai, which is why, all right, Jake, as we read earlier in that Joshua, all right, you better choose the Lord. All right, because JC ain't gonna save you. All right, none of these other guys is gonna save you, man. Only Yahweh Shema Shai, man. And Esau damn sure ain't gonna save you. So if you want to buy into this system and go and trust in Egypt, that's gonna be to your confusion, like it says in Isaiah the 30th chapter, man. But can somebody get Revelation 3 and 10, Bible Pasha, and somebody else get Mark 8 and 35? Because what we're witnessing, okay, is as all this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is going out, like the brother Azar just said, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is making provision for his chosen elect to be able to withstand the evil day, man. All right, so all this wisdom that we're getting built up is what's gonna help, you know, prepare our spirit to resist the hour of temptation, man.
That's right. God, it's Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Right. So those that have kept the word of the Lord's patience, all right, he was going to keep you from the hour of temptation. All right. That's going to be the spirit the Lord is going to put on certain individuals not to take that chip, man. All right. So you can sit there and say all you want about how, man, when that's coming, I ain't going to do it. We don't know what people are going to do in that day, man. It's easy to say that shit now because you have a full stomach. All right. You have a house to, you know, lay your head at. All right. You were able to sustain you and your house, your family or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But in that day, man, you're going to truly need the Spirit of the Lord to keep you from bowing that knee, man, because this time that's going to come. All right. Can you get that in NLT? The time that's going to come, that's going to prove who really believes in Yahweh Shem Yahushua or not, man. This is why we have all these different accounts of the deliverance that the Lord brought into his chosen men, you know, in that day when their faith was put on the line, man. That's going to go for all of us, man.
Mm-hmm. God. So Revelation 3 and 10, the NLT. Because you have obeyed my command to persevere, so I will protect you from the great time of testing that will come upon the whole world to test those who belong to this world.
To test those that belong to this world, because you're going to have a lot of these quote unquote, you know, men of the Lord that's going to fold in that day, man, you know, because that testing, they weren't really preparing, you know, for that day, man. So here it is. You claim to be a prophet. You was out here doing these videos, but as we've been seeing through all these, you know, exposures throughout the years, these guys weren't about it, man. All right. And this last true test is going to separate the believers from the fakers, man. Okay. So we're going to see in that day. This is why you had, you know, different brothers, you know, give their testimonies of dreams they had where they saw, you know, quote unquote brothers, you know, folding and taking the chip, man. You know, we need Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This is why we pray for mercy. This is why we pray for the spirit to endure. Ultimately, we pray that Yahweh Shem Yahushua, all right, sustains us in that evil day, man. Okay, because without that spirit, you're gonna fold. When you start getting hungry, when you don't know when your next meal is gonna come because you haven't ate in 2-3 days, when your family is crying against you and they go ahead and take the chip, it's gonna be on each and every one of you individuals out there, man and woman, man. All right. Do you truly believe that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to provide for you when Esau tells you, like, look, you either going to bow the knee and take this chip, or you're going to be cut off from society, man? You know?
Right. If I can add too, when you go into that word for kept, it's the Strong's G5083 tereo, and it says to attend to carefully, to take care of, to guard. Right. So the angels are being sent down to guard, to take, you know, attend to carefully watch over the elect, man. So in every aspect, right, every move you're making, there's angels watching over you. And once you get to that time of testing, the angels are going to be what's used to put that spirit on you to endure, to stand firm, man. You know, to refuse, right, in the face of all these adversities, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a perfect example, you know, to add to what you were saying, was when Daniel was thrown in the lion's den, man. All right, because he refused to bow the knee. So we weren't really, what we given? How long he was in there for?
I think 3 days.
3 days. Okay, so during that period, Daniel ain't know if he was gonna eat or not. He didn't know if he was gonna get ate. You know, but he sat and, you know, pretty much, like I said, be still and know that I am the Lord. He allowed Yahweh Shem Yahushua's will to be done. And, you know, in the midst of him doing that, the angel literally brought Habakkuk to where Daniel was at, and Daniel was fed. You know, and between that, you know, the lions were kept back to where they didn't even bother Daniel, man. All right? And you kind of, you know, put that in modern day's term, hey, you might find yourself in a concentration camp, man. You know, not knowing how you're going to, you know, make it up out of there. And like Brother Cornwall just said, man, And angels, might be commanded to go, either free you, keep you sustained. We don't know what the Lord is going to have not happen that day, but you're gonna be good as long as you put your faith in the Lord, man.
Yeah. Just add to those accounts, brothers talking about, because you had Peter, he was locked in the prison, and the angel came and woke them up and, walked him, escorted him right out, back to the church.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Paul, I believe Paul and Barnabas. I know it was Paul for sure. It might have been Paul and Peter. I can't remember the account completely, but they started praying, and singing loud, and all the chains and all the prison houses came out. And then when you read that account, and actually that man that was a prison guard was actually converted. Started believing Yahweh Shema Shai.
That's right.
So you don't know what the Heavenly Father, why He has you in certain situations, what your purpose is. And just to chime back in on that, Peter, when you read that account, the church was actually praying for Peter, because he was supposed to be executed.
Yep.
And then that shows you how important it is for us to pray, as a body, sending up, the same prayer, up to the Lord.
Yeah. That's why we pray for the elect every day. You should be praying prayers to cover the elect, man. Okay.
If I may have one more thing, just dealing with the angels as well, because you read when Yahushua was in the wilderness, they comforted him.
Yep.
After he fasted for those 40 days and 40 nights, and I believe, my memory may, escape me, but I believe during the time when Yahushua was in the Garden of Gethsemane, after he prayed, to the Heavenly Father, take away the cup, the angel came and comforted him after that.
Yeah, the angels came and ministered to him, man.
So the Lord is always gonna, be willing to send help, to those who are obedient. And I got one precept.
You got it.
This is Hebrews chapter 5 and 8. This is the book of Hebrews. It's like I'm on the wrong page. I'm just reading from my phone. Hebrews 5 and 8. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. And just chiming back in with that Revelations 3 and 10, this society isn't learning obedience. They're not learning how to suffer for righteousness. This society is really built upon, stimulating the flesh.
Yep.
Really 24/7. You could really indulge in your pleasures every day and all night here in Babylon, and that's why you see people who are morbidly obese. That's why you see people with all these addictions and ailments, and just really just through and just completely when one bad day comes to them, they're ready to commit some acts of wickedness, and that's why you're seeing all these crazy reports, these news articles. That could have just been one bad day. These road rages, people going down the street. So we, as the believers of Yahweh Shema Shai, we're learning obedience through the things that we're suffering, just as Yahweh Shai did, to where when we suffer during the time of Jacob's trouble, we know we're going to be triggered, to be obedient, not to rebel.
That's right.
Got it. All right. I have something right quick, if I may.
Go ahead.
This is Psalm chapter 37 and verse 1. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity.
That's right.
But we should not be fearful of Esau Edom, right? Esau Edom has been given power, but he has not been given jurisdiction to take the elect, right?
Yep.
The elect have already been set aside, right? And it said, be thou envious, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. And that's going to bottleneck, unfortunately, 2/3 of our people, man, right? Them being envious toward their oppressors, right? And looking toward everything that he's obtained and whatever he has going on, they want to follow suit. Not understanding that when he unveils this device, it's not for your benefit, but your detriment. Right? Verse 2, for they shall soon be cut down like grass and wither as the green herb. Right? So, as we know, when the time when this implantable device gets dropped, the hour of temptation comes out, and this C-hip is really pushed and mandated, everything is gonna go like this.
Mm-hmm.
Prophecy is gonna go on the warp speed as we see it happening right now.
Yep.
Right? Matthew 24 and 22. The days had to be shortened for the elect's sake. So if the days had to be shortened for the elect's sake, that in turn means that what? The day of the wicked is short, man. As the brother priest Isaiah had read earlier, Job 20 and 4, right? The joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. This man he's at his very end of his system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because one thing, I want to make mention. All right, when this shit go, hey, our people, they gonna fold instantly, man. Because like as I made mention, this society, it plays on the lust to where 2/3 of our people, they don't know how to go without, man. So when their daily, whatever it is that they're into is stripped from them, just as we saw with the Jews, they instantly ran down to Egypt, man. All right, and bowed down, man. They bowed their body down, all the way, so that they could get those pleasures back. So we already know when faced with death, our people ain't got no integrity, man. They're gonna do everything in their power to try to, keep their lives going as they see fit, which is why you're gonna see a lot of them, take that chip, man. You got
More verse.
you got more on Slocky. Go ahead.
More verse. Trust in Yahweh and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. Right? So your trust and adherence to Yahweh B'Shem El Shai in doing good is doing what? Walking in the ways that he's told us to, being obedient, man. All right? In our obedience, the Lord is going to take care of us. Regardless of what the world has going on. Hey, because at the end of the day, this whole system that Esau is trying to set up of creating scarcity that leads to dependency, that leads to control. Hey, that's nothing that's new. Okay?
Right.
Yahweh B'Shem El Shai has been making provisions for his people since the days of old. And it's not anything new, as the brother had put up earlier, to Rock 2 and 10. Okay?
Just click on another comment.
So you brothers got to realize that. You brothers and you sisters, you have to keep that at the forefront of your mind. Regardless of everything that we see happening, the Lord will make provisions for us.
Yeah, don't be scared at the threat of death, man. Because that's not really, nothing to be afraid of when you really understand what death is, man. So like our people in the old time, when that was presented to them, they didn't bend or buckle, man. They walked into it, with their head held high, because they understood that, look, this is all Yahweh B'Shem El Shai's will. If it is for me to die, I'm gonna die with my head held high, man. Like as I quoted earlier in that quote, he said.
There should be an understanding of what happens when you die. Especially men of war. You see movies and like shows how honorable it is to go to war and to die. Well, of course, with us, we're fighting for the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So the Lord is truly on our side, and we understand, just as Yahweh Shai conquered death and rose from the grave, the same thing is going to happen to the believers, either at his appearing or during the times when we're actually put into those positions of death. The Lord could literally just have the guillotine snap on your neck, or even if you do go up to the spiritual realm, you go back to the heavens, you're going to come back when Yahweh Shai returns,
Exactly.
and your works are going to follow you.
Exactly. Real quick. This is Sirach 41 and 3. Fear not the sentence of death. Remember them that have been before thee and that come after, for this is the sentence of the Lord over all flesh. So as I just said, man, we're not to fear the sentence of death, man, because either Yahweh B'Shem El Shai can preserve you, or if you do, have to give up the spirit, that's an escape from this life, man. It's a way, as it says in what's that, Isaiah? I want to say 54. What it said, the Lord
57 and 1.
Or it says he's gonna make up a way to escape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At least that's 54:16. I want to say something around there. But at the end of the day, death, if that is to be your lot, that's an escape from this fucking life, man. All right. So either way, we're not to fear death because we know what comes after. That's not the end all be all. The majority of the reason why people are afraid of death because they don't understand what happens after. Because there's all these fucking, questions. Well, do we just, fade to black? Is it hell? Well, or am I gonna make it to heaven? When we understand through the scriptures, look, you just go back to the Father. You go back to the spiritual realm. You come out this terrestrial body and you put on the celestial body. And if you're a servant of the Lord, you're gonna be, with Yahweh until it's time for you to be brought back down, man. All right. So either you're gonna be raised up, man.
Yeah. The spirit of YOLO is a lie.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, I got one for you, please.
You got it.
This 2 Maccabees 6:18. It reads, Eleazar, one of the principal scribes, an aged man, and of a well-favored countenance, was constrained to open his mouth and to eat swine's flesh. So he was put in a very similar situation to what we're about to face, man. Right, where he has to compromise integrity, right, to where he has to bow to the system that's put before him, right?
Yeah.
It says, but he choosing rather to die gloriously than to live stained with such an abomination, spit it forth and came of his own accord to the torment. So this is the same lot, some brothers is going to be put into, man, right? You stand for Yahweh Shai, right? And you may face death, man. Now, whether or not, you get taken to the spiritual realm or the Lord redeem you and save you from that situation, that's for your story, right? But what Revelation 2:10, right? It tells us, how's it go? Be faithful unto death.
I guess you start at
20.
Yep. Yeah, start at 20. Yeah. Con. Yeah, we got another precept we want to add. Just another example of not fearing that sentence of death if that is to come before you. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the history of Susanna, chapter 1, verse 20.
Right. If I could just give a brief overview, so for those that's not familiar with this story, so pretty much you have Susanna, who was a very beautiful Israelite woman, and pretty much she was put in a position to where you had two of the elders of Israel who was plotting to pretty much have sex with her, even though they knew that she was already betrothed. So they had were burning in their desire of lust to to have her. So they pretty much waited for her to be by herself, and then put her in a position to try to make her sin against the Most High. So you got it.
Okay, I'm gonna start verse 19.
You got it.
It says, now when the maids were gone forth, the two elders rose up and ran unto her, saying, behold, the garden's doors are shut, that no man can see us, and we are in love with thee. Therefore consent unto us, and lie with us. If thou wilt not, we will bear witness against thee, that a young man was with thee, and therefore thou didst send away thy maidens for thee.
Right. So these men put Susanna in a very precarious situation because she was left with a lose-lose situation to where if she lied with those men, she committed adultery. All right. And if she didn't lie with those men were going to bear false witness on her and cause her to be put to death. So the situation wasn't good for her, man.
That's right. Then Susanna sighed and said, I am straitened on every side, for if I do this thing, it is death unto me, and if I do it not, I cannot escape your hands.
Mm-hmm.
It is better to fall into your hands and not do it than to sin against the sight of the Lord.
Right. And, when you read the rest of the story, Susanna ended up crying out so that somebody heard her, and then, they ended up, being put to trial, and those men were found to be liars, and Susanna was vindicated. Mm-hmm. But this situation literally is what's about to happen to us, okay? Because we can put ourselves in the position of Susanna, and what Esau is trying to do is like, look, you either can, knowingly take the chip and sin against your power, or you could not take the chip and be at the mercy of either being put to death being tortured or whatever may befall you. You know, that fear of what if, you know. But either way, it's not gonna look good for you. But the silver lining throughout all that is that we're gonna, you know, trust in Yahweh Bashim Shah. So we're gonna fall into your hands, but the Lord is gonna deliver us out of your hand, man. You know?
Yeah, we read the story as well. I'm gonna read verse 24. It says, "With that, Susanna cried with a loud voice, and the two elders cried out against her." You know, so you know, she lifted up her voice because when you read about that in
The grape law.
yeah, in Deuteronomy 22nd chapter, you know, if she cried out, you know, she shouldn't be put to death.
Yeah.
You know, so she cried out, you know, and when you read the account, the elders didn't have their story together.
Yeah.
You know, the Lord actually raised up Daniel, you know, to actually, you know, speak on her behalf, to basically mediate for her.
Yeah, the vindicator.
To vindicate her, you know, and false witnesses, just as they failed during the time of Yahushai, you know, they're gonna fail in these times. You know, Esau Edom's gonna try with his deep fakes, you know, and his technology to try to demonize, you know, the believers. You know, but none of that's gonna work. None of that's gonna deter the Israelites, the elect, you know, away. You know, whether they've woken up to the truth or not. You know, the elect are gonna be able to see past, you know, all the lies that Esau is going to push, and the Lord is going to, at the end of the day, he's going to be our mediator in the heavens.
Yeah, because another way you could look at that is, you know, they were trying to defile Susanna, because that act that they were going to commit on her was going to defile her, all right? And that's ultimately what Esau's trying to do with this Karagma, all right, to defile the Lord's woman. And so that's why we're crying out now, all right, to Yahweh Shem Shai, and just how Daniel was that mediator for Susanna, Yahweh Shai is our mediator to the Heavenly Father, so that we're going to be vindicated from this damn devil, man.
I got one precept.
Go ahead.
Sirach 2:17, they that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Lord and not into the hands of men, for as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
That's right.
You know, so that's what it's really about, you know, having the mindset, you know, as Susanna, you know, well, if I fall into the hands of the Lord, you know, I understand, just as when you read in the account of Daniel, well, the Lord can deliver us out of your hand with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You know, the Lord can deliver us out of your hand if it be his will.
Yeah, and like the examples that we use, these are all, you know, you putting your trust in the Lord. Real quick, this is Proverbs 11:3. The integrity of the upright shall guide them, but the perverseness of transgressors shall destroy them. Okay? So we're going to be saved through our integrity, that Yahweh Shem Shai has the ability to deliver us. And, you know, our integrity is that, look, no matter what happens, we're going to stand firm, you know, for the ways of the Lord, man. All right? We're not going to bend our beliefs off of any type of fear of, you know, what can happen to us, man. Okay? Because we stand firmly for our beliefs, man. That's why you have that quote in the world. You gonna, you know, stand for something, or you gonna fall for anything, man. You know, and the people of this world, they don't have any true, you know, beliefs worth standing for, man. Because these Christians, hey, they're as fickle as can come, man. All right. As soon as adversity hits them, their religion gets thrown out the window, man. And that's you know, Jake as a whole, man. Jake doesn't have no real stronghold to trust in, man. But we trust in Yahweh Shem Shai, man.
That's what integrity literally means. It literally means moral standard.
See?
You know, you brothers got it.
Kind. I got like 3 more and then we'll close it out. Somebody get Proverbs. Yo.
May I get a quick precept?
Go ahead.
This is John 19,
18
and verse 10. It says, then saith Pilate unto him,
a
Pilate unto him, speakest thou not unto me? Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee and have power to release thee? Verse 11, the point, Yahweh Shai answered, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Therefore he that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin. Okay? So ultimately what? The power, again, that's vested in these Edomites, right, to try and potentially grab up some of the members of the elect and they be martyrs, right?
Right.
Or they get thrown into concentration camps, or they lose their daily bread, right? Or Esau tries to put them into various different types of hardships. That's all been given them. That power has been given unto them by Yahweh B'Shem El Shai at the end of the day, you know? So really, we have nothing to fear against these Edomites, man.
That's right.
They're nothing more than a false witness, right?
Yep.
Just speak about how the accuser of our brethren is cut down,
Cast down.
Right.
Yep.
cast down to water, right? The false accuser of our brethren is cast down, accuser of our brethren. So this man, he is already out the way. He's just playing his role in the story.
That's right. Beautiful, beautiful. Corner Waffle, Tazwan, can y'all hold one of y'all hold Sirach 2 and 10, and then John 10 and 28. You guys,
Okay. This is Psalms 18 and 30. As for Yahweh, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all of those that trust in him.
right. So it says the ways of the Lord are perfect, and the word of the Lord is tried, because hey, these words, as it says, have been purified 7 times over. Roughly paraphrasing, which means they've been tested. All right, and as the example that we've brought out throughout this lesson, that shows you that look, if you put your trust in the Lord, all right, you'll be good. Okay, as I said, he's a buckler to all those that trust in him. All right, what's a buckler? It's like a shield. All right, he's your protector.
Yeah, the buckler. When you have the sword and you have that small shield. So a buckler could actually be used for offense and defense.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So hey, you like the brother Tazwan just said, we ain't got nothing to worry about, because it's everything that goes on in this life is all the Lord's will. So this devil doesn't have any power that the Lord, did not give him, man. So when you find yourself in these situations, you just understand that look, the Lord is in control. So whatever his will is what it will be, man.
That's right. God. Well, what was that, John Priest?
John 10 and 28.
Oh, God, I got it. It's Sirach 2 and verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken?
And we have the examples that we just read. Was Susanna forsaken? All right. Was Daniel forsaken? Was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego forsaken? Hell, was Eleazar forsaken? And the answer to that, even though he died, is still no, because his remembrance is still talked about to this day. He died a glorious death, man, because he kept his integrity, man. So the ones that did, lose their lives, they didn't lose it in vain, because their memory, all right, is still talked about as a means to uphold your integrity, man. So the answer is no. Nobody was confounded, even if they died. They still weren't confounded because the Lord was with them, man.
Yeah, the times we're coming into, we understand that even all the accounts in the old, that's times of old, even Yahweh Shai and the men, all of those accounts still haven't been accounted for yet. So stories are going to be remembered when we get in the kingdom. But even the times we're living in now, there's going to be stories written about the things the elect went through to inherit the kingdom. There's going to be stories about how the Lord delivered them out of concentration camps. How the Lord saved them from the nuclear fire.
That's right.
So our Lord's will be part of that number. Our remembrance will never leave the earth. Just as Yahweh Shai's remembrance is still alive and well in the earth, we're going to be joint heirs with him in that glory.
That's right.
You brothers got it?
Got it. Did you want to keep going in that verse?
Yeah, we finished it out and go to verse 11.
Okay. It reads, look at the generations of old and see, did any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction.
Right, so point being that the Lord is not going to forsake the true believers, man. All right? So this is why this time period that we're in right now is for you to build up that trust in the Lord, so that when your faith is put to the test, all right, you truly know and believe that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has the power to deliver you no matter what, man. Okay? So you get that, John, and we close it.
This is John chapter 10 and verse 28. and I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
Right. So the elect will inherit eternal life through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And it says that they shall never perish. So like I say, even if there will be martyrs, we understand that hey, those martyrs are going to be raised back up. So truly they didn't die. So like Romans 8:1 tells you, there is no condemnation to them that are in Yahushua HaMashiach, man. So you never really die in the Lord. Because it says, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. So the elect, okay, they will be, because they have been since the beginning preserved, unto the Lord. Okay, those are His. Whoever that is in the world, man. All right, Lord willing, it's us brothers that's teaching, and you fellow believers, you men, women, and children that believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Nobody can take us out the Lord's hand, man, if we're of that number, man. Okay, so continue to fight the good fight of faith, man, and don't give up, man. Hey, let no man take thy crown, man. Okay, because the victory is already written for the elect. It tells you in the book of 1 John how hey, we've already overcome the evil one, man. We've already overcome the world in Yahushua. So hey, just stand firm in your faith and continue to fight, man. All right, brother, got anything else?
I wanted to read this in the commentary for that verse.
You got it.
In 28, it reads, jump to the point. Physical life may be destroyed, but those who are united by the faith to the Son of the Most High, those who belong to the flock of the true shepherd, can never lose real life, for he keeps it secure. The only way by which a soul is saved is by that soul abiding in Hamashiach. If it did not abide in Hamashiach, it would be cast forth as a branch and withered. But then we know that they who are grafted unto Hamashiach will abide in Hamashiach. And it continues to say, it is to be expected that the good shepherd will take care of his sheep, and the sheep are safe and secure in the hand of the good shepherd. So just continuing on that point, that the Lord is going to make provision, have protection set in place for His elect, right? And even if your life on this side has to be given, you have an eternal abundance awaiting you, man.
Khan, yeah, I want to feed off of you when the brother Salaki, if I butcher your name, Yaha Judah Israel. This John 11:25. Yahushua said unto her, I am the resurrection and the life. He that believeth in me, though he were dead, yet shall he live. Verse 26. And whosoever liveth and believeth in me shall never die. Believeth thou this? And that's a question that we pose to you believers out there, man. Do you really believe that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua has the power to raise you up? Because hell, He's already did it once. Shit. Yeah. Hey, we were dead spiritually, and the Lord brought us back to life. So it's nothing for the Lord to do that physically if we are to actually give up our lives, man. Because we're already alive in Yahushua, as we speak.
That's right.
So hey, you got to continue to fight, man.
Yes, right. No.
All right. So hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. All right, so we're gonna close it out by giving all honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem HaKodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And peace and salutation to the elect. Until next time, we say shalom.
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 Shalom.